I'm Edward Burroughs. I'm a member of the Prince George's County Board of Education. I love Prince George's County. I grew up there my entire life, and I think education is a civil rights issue of our time. And if we're going to do what's best for young people, we have to give them a strong foundation in the school system. So I graduated from Crossland. I went to Bowie State University, and then I transferred to University of Maryland, Baltimore County. I was really active in the student government at UMBC, but at the same time I was serving on the school board. So, I gave up a little bit of that college experience to continue to serve. And so, I was able to go to some parties, some events, but the next morning I might have to be up at a community meeting. And so that balance was, it wasn't that bad. I had a great college experience. So Prince George's County has almost 1 million people in it. It's the most affluent African American community in the nation. There are pockets of poverty, just like everywhere else. I think one of the best things about Prince George's County is that if you like the suburbs, we have that. If you like the city, we have small cities. And if you like the countryside, we have that as well. And so in a matter of minutes, you can go from the National Harbor, Gaylord, MGM major casino to the rural tier where you're riding horses down in Clinton, or the suburbs, Temple Hills, Oxon Hill, Camp Springs. So no matter what you like, Prince George's County could be a place for you. I grew up in Prince George's County, so I started out as SGA president trying to get Crossland an auditorium. So we wrote letters to the school board. We work with our council members, our senators, our PTSA, our civic association, and our message was essentially, we're as good as anyone else, and we deserve high quality facilities just like anyone else. And so that fight started probably in my 9th, 10th grade year. In Maryland, we have students on our school board. And so I ran for student member on the school board, still fighting for that auditorium. And it wasn't until after I graduated and ran for the full seat on the school board that we were able to break ground on that auditorium. And so that was my introduction into politics, government, and the school system.
I'm asking you to try something different, something young, something fresh, and something progressive. I've served on the school board for 2 years as a student member. When I left office, Crossland High School left with an auditorium in the works. That's why I'm endorsed by the Crossland High School PTSA president.
So when I started out, I was very tunnel vision. I want my school to have what everyone else has, and that's an auditorium. And then we got that, and I'm like, well, now what? And it really is a very interesting experience. I think urban education and urban school districts across the country are very, very complex, and they have a host of issues. I think when I was the student member, I just assumed so many things. And I assumed everyone was there for kids. I assumed that equity would prevail. There were a lot of assumptions, but it's actually a lot more intricate and complex than that. So I got elected when I was 18 years old, and I recognized that I simply didn't have the votes to make the change that I wanted to make. And so I learned very early on that if you want to do what's best for your community, you want to do what's best for people, you have to have power. And in order to have power, you have to build coalitions and work with people of like minds. And so we ran 2 candidates the last election cycle. One was 24, one was 23, and they both won. And so now we have a coalition of like-minded, progressive young people pushing the school district toward equity and innovation. So board members have several roles, from policy to budget to hiring, firing, suspending, expelling. But at the end of the day, I would say our job is to make sure that students are succeeding in our school districts, that teachers have everything that they need to help our students be well educated. And I would say one of the most important decisions that a board has to make is where we spend our money. In Prince George's County, we have almost a $2 billion operating budget. And what we do with that money says a lot about our values, says a lot about what we believe about kids, and really determines the future of the system. What programs are in what schools? What are we doing to recruit and retain our best teachers? What are we doing to provide remediation to our most vulnerable students? One of the most important roles in urban education is who we select as the superintendent. The superintendent's job is to set the strategic vision and implement that vision. And so that role is so critically important. And unfortunately in Prince George's County, we have the wrong superintendent. When the most important role in your system is not correct, I see my role as to highlight and expose incompetence, conflicts of interest, and anything that's not serving kids well. And I think we've been able to do that really successfully. So my work and my heart will always be Prince George's County Public Schools. Next year will be my 10th year, and so there's a great chance that I might not be there for much longer. That's why it's so important that I'm helping elect other principled young people. And so that's something that we're working on right now. We literally have 5 candidates running right now for school board. And so I won't be there, most likely, but the system will be in good hands, and I'll be there every step of the way supporting. I might run for county council or delegate or state senate. We're trying to figure that out now, but my heart, my passion will always be the school system. I would say that the first thing is find like-minded people. In this business, in education, and in politics, you can't do anything by yourself. So it's important that you surround yourself with people who have the same values and the same vision. Iron sharpen iron. And if you do that, that's a great first step. I would also say find mentors. I think in the African American community, we have to do a better job, at least in politics, because the trend is, I got mine, and so you go and get yours. And a lot of politicians see young people as just door knockers and phone fakers, foot soldiers. And granted, that's a worthwhile experience, and we need that. But we're also smart, thoughtful policymakers and collaborators and problem solvers. And so find individuals who are willing to mentor you, not just use you. I would say that's my initial advice. And then I would say for young people who are currently in the thick of it, stay strong. I mean, it's hard, it's frustrating. But if you hold on to why you started, and that's because you care about your community, you care about young people, allow that to keep you strong in very tough moments. Because it's not easy reforming broken systems. Because there are people with vested interest in keeping systems broken. And so I would just say, stay strong.